Every year, thousands of teenagers are put into a closed social experiment. Same age group, same building, with absolutely no escape. Sounds illegal, right? Don't worry, we call it high school. And somewhere between algebra and the French Revolution, we figure out who is cool, who is a baddie, and who sits alone during lunch. Hi, I'm Aanshi Sheth, a current ninth grade high school student, which technically means I'm alive, just not during chemistry. Not that I don't like it, I really do. It's just that good grades in chemistry seem to be personally offended by my very existence. Apart from that, high school teaches you many things, like time management, communication skills, and how to destroy your confidence in just one test. And this isn't all. High school is a very weird place. Everything is suddenly so different from middle school. Like in 8th grade, my inner monologue sounded like a Disney narrator, all sugar and sunshine. But in high school, it's more like a documentary on survival. And that made me wonder, was I the only one? So, I started my journey observing the high school dynamics like a true unpaid anthropologist. But when you actually put high school under a microscope, you notice something really different, something really messed up within the system. High school is like a car that runs on stereotypical labels. It never asks you who you are. People never actually know your personality. All they do is ask you to pick a category. Are you the cool athlete, the popular fashionista, the weird artist, or the boring nerd? Who are you? Choose your aesthetic fast, or the system will choose one for you. But I didn't always notice the system. In middle school, I was called Miss Perfect. Perfect grades with a lot of competitions won. I had a decent place in the social hierarchy. I was doing well, and I was happy with that. But one day, my friends and I were just playing a game, a harmless one. What's your aesthetic? And that is when it hit me. My entire personality cannot be summed up with cute purple aesthetic girly. There was more to me than just a few words. And once you see such things, you just can't unsee them. After that, I started noticing it everywhere. On Snapchat, people are posting in only one kind of filter. On social media, groups are forming around aesthetics, labels, categories. It was suddenly everything that everyone was in a group. But this small observation started to mean a lot because every category, every group that includes someone quietly excludes someone else. And people don't just feel misunderstood, they feel invisible. The problem is that these labels don't just group us, they become us. At some point, a label stops being a description and starts becoming a coping mechanism. For example, if you're the smart one, you cope by being perfect. If you're the funny one, you cope by never being serious, even when your life is practically falling apart. If you're the cool one, you go around with that I don't care attitude, even when you really do. And if you're invisible, you cope by staying that way. The problem is that your label is not you. Trust me when I say that. Because when you are constantly being someone else, you slowly lose touch with who you really are. You start feeling disconnected from yourself. You don't feel sad or angry. You just feel as if something is off. For me, being Miss Perfect was comforting. As long as I was perfect, I didn't have to ask who I really was without the label. And when you're constantly performing a role, you slowly lose the real you, your real personality. I am not saying that high school is bad or that high schoolers are bad people. It's just that you should always remember that high school is a place where you learn, you grow. And remember, you are not in a high school rom com and definitely not in Hogwarts. You don't have to belong to a category, a house, or a trope. You live in a world where you're allowed to be unfinished. You're allowed to change, you're allowed to be confusing. So, just take a drink, I prefer coffee, and sit down with yourself and try to know who you really are before you become who everyone else says you should be. Thank you.